We're back at Balmoral Otautahi. Dan Saunders, Bob Burnett, and builder, designer. So we're just progress update. So most of the windows are in now, and the roof is on. So it's really close to being weathertight, progressing rapidly. So these are the European Kaufman windows. So this is a lift and slide door, which is airtight. Can actually, even though this, it's not insulated and totally sealed up here, it makes a big difference with the traffic noise, even at this stage. So these ones, they have the aluminium on the outside, which is really good. So you've got the wood look on the inside, PVC frames, and the clip-on on the outside.
So when we're ordering these windows on any job, we go through the plans as they're consented, or when they're going for consent, and do a lot of planning around the flooring and where they sit in relationship to the walls and stuff. Because there's a 4 months lead time, we can't do a site measure, and we're obviously confident in the fact that we know how big the holes are going to be, so we can just order them off the plans. So when we do these, we obviously take into account what flooring they are, and the rebates and the concrete slab are in relationship to that. So when we've got tiles down here, they'll butt up to the slab here, and it becomes just a level entry through to the outside. So what you can see here is we've started to put our ventilation ducting in. It's sitting below the speed floor joists, and where you've got some holes up here we can utilise as well for services to go through. So obviously we have the concrete floor up top, which has got hydronic underfloor heating in it, and this gives us the opportunity to do that, but also gives us the space to run all our ventilation ducting and services. We've got a active cooling heat pump line over here as well. So
down on the floor here you can see the thermal break around the outside of this column, and then over here too, right along this wall, although it's been covered up by this timber batten here, there's a thermal break all the way along that wall, which lines up with the internal insulation. So effectively what we've got here is a topping slab on top of a structural slab, and then that thermal break is just isolating that, so there's no thermal bridge to the outside. This was actually built as a mock-up, as a display when we had our tour, Super Home tour, and this house was also on the bus tour, as a under construction exemplar, just showing how we've got the two layers here. So we're eliminating thermal bridging by having the insulation running horizontally in this internal services cavity, and this also provides the airtight layer.
So as you can see here, here's our concrete mid-floor, so it allows us to have that hydronic underfloor in that slab to give it a thermal mass.
No worries.
If you're building conventional timber floor, you wouldn't be able to have that. So here you can see our structure for our speed floor under here, which gives us the strength. So here we have one of our exterior doors that have been partially installed. You can see the ProClimber Contiga wrap that's been taped to the inside but yet to be stuck around to our Weathertight wrap, so that'll be stuck on there. And then because we're sitting our windows out 5 mils, we have this slot here to slip our back flashing in as well. These ones here, the clients have gone for alu clip, which is basically powder coated to whatever colour, and this one's flax pod, so it matches the New Zealand sort of colour schemes that we have.
Yeah, so this will have a 40mm cavity batten,
yeah,
and then
BCG board, and then stone.
And then on this side there'll be
vertical
timber,
timber.
shiplap. Yeah.
So where we're standing on now, this is directly on top of the CLT with its weathertight membrane, just to protect it from any water damage. From here it gets built up with a couple of layers of EPS and PIR, and the TPO gets put on top, which will end up looking like this up the top here.
That's a lot of acronyms, Dan.
Yeah.
EPS, what is that? Expanded polystyrene.
Yeah.
And then
PIR is, I forget the name of that one.
Polyiso.
It gives me a headache.
Yeah. And then TPO is this membrane that goes on top.
a layer here that's yet to be welded down. We've got another layer that comes over top here onto our drip edge, which then directs water into the gutter and then away into our storage tanks. So what we have here, as you can see, the gutter's been installed. What I like about this detail here is this is powder coated aluminium that's been folded up. We've got some negative detail joints here, which gives us a nice seamless sort of look to the outside. It comes under here, we've got a negative detail all across the steel beam into the CLT. So and you can see the windows there, they're pretty much ready to go for our cladding once we get the battens on. And we have a little head flashing which has been inserted before we installed the windows. So what we have here is, in addition to the solar, we obviously need to be able to get up and clean them safely. So what we've got across a number of points on this roof are anchor blocks. So these are screwed right through to the CLT, and from there we have a fall arrest system which will be mounted to these timbers, and that'll help keep people safe when they're up here cleaning it or needing to assess the top of the roof.
So people will have a harness,
Yes.
and then can attach to
the brackets.
A cable, is it?
Yeah, so there's brackets, and then there'll be a wire running to
Yeah.
each one, and then they can just walk across with their
Tension
sort of like
wire,
a abseiling harness, basically.
Yeah. Here you can see the electrical wiring. This will be for lighting. So there's a habitable space below here, and it's this purple wiring so that doesn't react with the EPS that goes on top of that. A feature of this home is the large overhangs on the roof, and that's great for shading. But on this side here, this is the south side, this is our entrance, so we've just got a little bit of extra protection from the weather over the entry, and I've got to admit, it comes down to the look too, the aesthetics.
It's all about the vibe.
It's all about the vibe, yeah. But having some windows on the south side here, there's not going to be much sun or any sun really coming in here, but it's just going to give the space a really nice quality of light. So there's sort of a gallery hallway along the back of the house, which is going to be where there's artwork. So that's going to be nice to have this indirect light from the south. That's what you want to display art. So and yeah, it'll just give the whole roof this feeling that it's floating.